Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to TLR episode 57. We are a few days shy of Christmas. I cannot believe that the holidays are here. That's why I'm sitting in front of, you can't really see it, in front of my tree.
I can see it. It looks beautiful. I love your background.
Thank you. I figured I'd move my whole studio setup right in front of my tree just for you, Isa. And the chat, of course.
It's because I put one up. So you were like, here's I'm Grinch mode. But it looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Episode 57. We're about to close out. It's crazy how this year has just flown by. Like, crazy. But as always,
next week I want to do a recap of the craziest pop culture news this year.
Yeah, and there's been a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot. But as always, Joey Karni and Isa here, the Demon Diva. TLR, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here, welcome back. We appreciate your support. If you haven't yet, I'm sure you have already because we're 57 episodes in. Hit that subscribe button down below. All cool know your news stuff on this channel. Obviously, we are, top tier. There are other top tier podcasts as well, but TLR is just...
They're not us.
I'm trying to be humble, Isa. You know what I mean?
We don't do that around here.
TLR is the one.
Acknowledge us.
We'll put it. So if you're just following in episode 57, we have a few fun topics for you guys today. The first one I want to start talking about is actually it's actually really funny because we talked about last week how Amanda Bynes is starting a podcast. Remember we talked about that? I don't know if that's exactly what we talked about, but we got into her starting a podcast. She, a couple days after that podcast, she then decided she's canceling the podcast. She's no longer doing the podcast because she cannot get guests like Drake and Post Malone, and she can't get big time guests. So if she can't get big time guests, she's not doing a podcast.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. Is she not that interesting?
It gets better. It gets better. I think maybe a few hours later or like a few days, I don't even know what it was. She came back and she's like, okay, so I'm not going to cancel the podcast. I talked to some friends. They said I have to get a few episodes in and then maybe I can get those kind of guests, but it's a work in progress. And she goes, our next guest is going to be on Friday. The podcast heaven sent us our guest. She hyped it up and she's like, it's the manager of this shoe store in LA.
No way. Yeah.
She's interviewing some guy who runs like a shoe store in Los Angeles. I don't know who it is. I was flabbergasted. And I never use that word because it's a weird word. But like, she canceled it and then she uncanceled it. And she's like, I want Post Malone and Drake. And then she gets a guy from a shoe store. And she's all over.
I have a short attention span too, but this doesn't make any sense. Like, I think that if you add guests and interviews to your podcast, that's a great idea. But I think you also have to be able to rely on yourself because things fall apart, guests falls apart. And if you start getting people used that you're going to have a big guest every week, that's what they expect. So they're going to not like it. But that's like, well, there's a stat out there. Sorry about the music. But there's a stat out there that says that, like, I think it's like 98% of people that start a podcast, like, quit it or a YouTube channel.
In the first month or so.
Yeah, and maybe, like Joseph is saying in the chat, maybe her short attention span, maybe she didn't have a structure. Maybe she just thought, hey, I'm just going to... Because a lot of people do it because of name value, because they have name value, so they decide to start without knowing what they're going to talk about and what they're going to do. They're not like us little people that have to start from nothing. I have to figure out how am I going to grow this platform, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a YouTube, And... yeah, you have to structure and plan ahead. This is I feel like she went into it without knowing what she was going to talk about.
I just feel like I personally feel like because of her mental state, and we've talked about before how she's on a conservatorship, maybe someone who's in charge of her was like, there's so much like gossip around your name. Why don't we put you on camera for a podcast and maybe build a business off of a podcast? And that's honestly what I feel like what happened. I don't think that she's like, hey, I want to do a podcast. Like, I'm Amanda Bynes. Like,
Remember Drake went on that little nobody's podcast too, and that made her huge.
which one? Oh,
I can't remember
yes.
the
They were
girl,
like
but it
laying
was
in
like
bed
nobody
together.
even knew who she was, and I guess he listened to one and liked it, and went on her podcast,
Yes.
and she became huge after that.
They were laying in
Drake
bed
is
together.
the name, like yeah, Drake is the name. Because remember when he went on Ninja streams and everybody learned who Ninja was after that? Like, it's crazy how having that one guest can really make someone.
But you know how it is to interview people and do a show and have a show. How would you feel if you were lined up to be a guest on somebody's show, and then the host came out and said, we're canceling the show because we can't get good names?
Well,
how would you feel?
I don't know.
Would you be like, I'm not going on that show? Or would you be like, oh, I committed, I gotta go?
I wouldn't go.
Yeah, like,
I thought you were canceling. My bad. I made plans. I gotta wash my hair.
But she made social media video. Like, first off, Amanda Bynes needs to learn how to do social media because she's
never known how to do social media ever.
Her videos are so weird. She like presses record and starts talking like 5 seconds.
I hate when people do that. You know what else I hate? Fun fact and random. But I hate when people screen record and you can tell it's a screen recorded. Like, trim it, crop it. Okay, like, you have the ability to make it look like the video came from you. Oh my god, when you see the end screen at the end, I know it's stupid, but yeah, the record, like, you can crop it after you save it, crop the first 3 seconds. We all do it because we all depend on, especially when you're by yourself, you depend on a tripod. You do have the 3 seconds of setting it up, standing in place.
Yeah, you can set the timer.
Just crop it. Or crop it. You can trim, crop. They're your best friends.
Yep. And then she finishes the video and she's like this.
Oh, like, that's as bad as it. Yeah, that's as bad as the I'm gonna wait on some people to get in here when somebody starts a live. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna wait on some people to, and they just sitting there quiet, like texting or something else, and it's just like, you are live. Like, I always tell people, like, get that stream starting soon screen. You know what I mean? Allow people, but once your face is up there, you should be ready to say what you need to say or entertain. Like, oh my god, you will lose me in 2 seconds if I join your live and you're like, all right, well, let me get on more people to get in here. It's like, nah, I don't have time for that. Get out immediately.
You know, when I first started making wrestling content, it was during the pandemic. And I was like, it's very difficult if I'm one person to like have my camera here and stand over here to film a video, you know? So I bought one of those Bluetooth, wireless,
the best things
you could, the little buttons that you can click and it starts recording, and then you can click it again to turn off the recording. And if you're far away from your phone, it's not rocket science, but like, this is Amanda Bynes.
I use it at WWE Junket days because I'm typically on my own. I used to go on my own. Now sometimes they send me with a cameraman. Lucky me, you know, we upgraded at Lucha Libre Online, but I used to go on my own. So I will set up a tripod. I will record with the selfie camera. And if you look at my old interviews, you see me with the clicker in my hand, because these people don't have time to wait for you to go start, set it up, blah, blah, blah. Like, you've been there. Like, those interviews go bang, bang. And if you didn't get it, you're not going to get a second chance. So I always have. A lot of them come with your own little ring lights, or like, you don't have to buy them. Some of them, the ring lights and other things will come with them.
Yes,
I'm telling you, that is such a good investment.
Yeah. And it's like little tools and tips like that can help you be a better creator. You know what I mean? And I feel like someone like Amanda Bynes, who, by the way, in the 90s had the best show ever, The Amanda Show. If you didn't watch The Amanda Show on Nickelodeon, I mean, what were you doing on all that?
But she's kind of like just starting, and I don't know who's guiding her. That would be my question, because we all made certain mistakes. Like, I want to go back and like take off all of my old videos, but I won't do it because it shows the growth. But there's one video that you can clearly tell that I'm like looking at my references the whole time. Like, I feel like you also learn, and she might just be getting started. But I feel like when you're that big of a name, you either like consult someone, like get a consulting or someone that can tell you, okay, you should change this. It's just little things. They make a difference.
But not to like go in on Amanda Bynes, but like, you know, part of being on camera is I kind of want to say like the acting part. You know what I mean? Like the persona. And from someone like her who was at one point one of the biggest names out there on TV, and even I think in movies too, like Amanda Bynes, like she has the acting skills, she has all of the tools. So she goes on social media to make a video, which is kind of like what she was doing for her job. And
Yeah, but
it
she's
looks
trying
like
to be herself. And a
that
lot
I
of times
get.
these people don't have the
Yeah. She's also
personality
been
that
through
you
the
can.
ringer. So
Yeah, but like even I seen it happen with like there's so many wrestlers or like whatever that you see, and
yeah.
when you meet them as a person, they're completely different than the character that you're seeing on TV, and that shocks you. And it
Yeah.
happens with actors too, you know. I think she's just trying to give us the real her, because if she starts seeing a little too rehearsed or a little too perfect, I know that's not gonna be her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, her video last week talking about her eyelid surgery was a whole lot better. And it was because she was just being authentic. Like it was her, like she was just telling her story in a sense. So I guess that's kind of what the issue is there, is just, it kind of feels like rehearsed for her. Because if you go back and watch the video, and I encourage the chat to go look at her, like look up Amanda. I think she's Amanda B on TikTok.
Yeah.
It seems very rehearsed. Like she's very like still, and she sounds like she's just reading a script. No head movement, no nothing. She's just like, we decided to cancel the podcast, and like it's very like very odd.
For whatever it's worth, allegedly the podcast is doing well on Spotify numbers wise.
I wouldn't doubt, because people haven't heard from her or seen her in so long, and she was when I was growing up. I remember she was all the guys' crush, and all the girls wanted to have like a personality like her, because she was so cool, and like she was a pretty girl that could be cool and hang with the guys. You know what I mean? Like she was like the
Right.
I don't know how you describe
She
it.
was the perfect casting for that soccer movie where they made
Yeah.
her, which she aged horribly if you watch it now, but they made her into a boy because she was like the cool chick
She's
that
the
can
man,
hang
or
with the
she's
boy.
she's something
Which
like that.
she's the man, yeah,
Yeah,
and
something like
I can relate to that because all of my friends are dudes.
I don't know. You saw her on like red carpets, and she was glammed up and really, really pretty. And then in movies, she played these funky, weird, funny characters. And it was like, wow, like she's the full package, you know? So I don't know. Growing up, I always loved her. I always watched all that and watched her rise. You ever see the movie Big Fat Liar with her and
Yeah,
Frankie
it's
Muniz?
good. It was cute.
Yeah, I love that movie too. But we're on the topic of nostalgia. We might as well just stick with that topic of nostalgia. George Clooney.
Oh my god, this headline sent me.
Yeah.
Sent me. I'm like looking for news for us, and I just saw George Clooney said there's not enough drugs, and I'm like, where are we going with this?
Yeah. He refuses, I guess, to be the Batman again.
The Batman. Yeah, he
In the
did that.
commercial that he did.
Right, correct. He did the appearance for the nostalgia factor in the Flash movie. But he said that there's not even a drug in the world that could get him to play this character again. And it's crazy to me because like I haven't seen the Flash. I refuse to. I think the reason for me is because I feel like Spider-Man did it so recently, bring back all the Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
But anyway, so George Clooney said there's not enough drugs in the world for me to go back and actually play Bruce Wayne in like a full-time basis. Like he did the appearance, that's all good, but he says he never wants to play Batman again. I'm scrolling through the article to see if there's like an explanation of why he wouldn't want to play him.
I have a gut feeling on it. I kind of feel like
they made him wear rubber nipples to play the Batman.
That's why.
Well, he talks about the rubber nipples in this article.
I just have a feeling that because George Clooney is one of those it's very hard to explain, but you'll understand what I'm saying. He's one of those classic actors where he's very exclusive.
Batman. He's not Batman.
He's exclusive where he doesn't do if he decides to do a movie, it's a big movie. if he decides to do anything, it's big. He doesn't just do any Joe Schmo thing, right? And I feel like at this stage in his career, he's still one of those beloved actors in Hollywood. If he were to reprise his role as Batman, the society that we live in today, I think he is scared of, to be honest. I think that he would feel the negative reaction from being older and being Batman and not being as good as he once was in the role. I think there's so many factors that society
according to
society
Ricardo,
would
he
feel like,
hated his original performance, period. Like he says he
Yeah.
was really bad in it. So if he's already unsatisfied with how he played him originally being younger, years back,
Yeah.
I would agree with you in that statement. I like to picture my George Clooney in an Ocean's 11 style role. Like I don't see him
yes,
superhero style, like mafia playing a big smart guy or a big boss or a CEO. That's my George Clooney. Like
yeah,
it's like really funny because we all have our favorite actors, but if you have to put him in a category, I love George Clooney. Like
yeah. He's
whatever.
he's above your average
And
actor.
I just wouldn't put him in superhero. And the Batman that he did was never a movie that interests me. I told you, I think the Ocean's 11 series is my favorite role that he's ever played. But to put him in a romantic comedy, he's so good at playing that because he's so mysterious. And I love George Clooney. But as the Batman, no, I just don't. And I know that I wasn't into it when he played it. It's just not where I would put him at. Him and like Brad Pitt, that's another one that I don't put in superhero status. I wouldn't want to see Brad Pitt play a superhero. I want to see Brad Pitt in Fight Club. That's what I want to see. So I feel like there are certain actors that are made for that. I think some of them broke the mold, like Robert Downey Jr. He can play anything. You believe him at Iron Man?
Michael B. Jordan.
You believe him at whatever, but I don't see him and automatically see Iron Man, and I think that's huge because that role ended up being so big. But he can go and play other things and it's not gonna affect him. Like he broke the mold when it came to that. But George Clooney, I mean, I get it. He's very critical of his own performance, but I just wouldn't. I don't need to see him as the Batman anymore. So I'm with him.
Yeah, no, I get it. I don't know. I feel like today's society, like we find more of the negative than the positive in those type of things. Like if a new movie came out of like reprising a Batman, right?
Yeah.
We would find 10 things wrong with it and 2 things we liked about it.
When they announced Robert Pattinson, there was more backlash that there was positivity. And I thought that I didn't like the movie. I thought it was too long.
Different style.
And
movie,
I thought that he was a little bit of too much of an emo Batman for me. Believe it or not, my favorite Batman is Christian Bale. And that might be because I hold The Dark Knight up here. Like The Dark Knight is top 3 favorite movies of all time for me. So he's going to be my favorite Batman because of that. But I didn't mind Robert for all the backlash when he got announced, when I watched it. He wasn't the reason why I didn't like the movie. So I was like, I don't think he did that bad of a job. Like, what was everybody all up in their feelings about? He was great. And I'm excited that he was able to escape the Twilight curse because most of them did it. And Robert Pattinson, he was Edward Cullen, but he's done a lot of really cool things past that where some of these actors just disappeared.
We talked about that on the show.
I feel like there's so many roles that are so iconic that regardless of who you put in these roles, because of what you said, because people have these standards, people are they're going to get criticized. Like when there are certain roles that when you accept them, you gotta be ready for what's coming with it, and then prove them wrong with your performance. I thought that the new Batman was a little too long. And the plot took a little too long to get interesting for me. I think the pacing of the movie bothered me more than him playing Batman. I thought he did a fine job.
Yeah. I don't mind the movie, but like in the back of my head, I'm like, why another new Batman? Like how many Batman movies can we make?
Because the superhero market got oversaturated to the point that people are not watching these movies anymore. And if you don't go back to a familiar superhero that's always going to sell, I didn't think that Spider-Man needed to be remade after Tobey Maguire. I thought Tobey Maguire killed it. Andrew Garfield, I didn't even like him until the last Spider-Man with the little nostalgia in a short amount of time. Like I liked him. And Tom Holland, to me, he just looks like a kid. Like if I see him trying to save me in New York, I'll be like, get out of my way. I save myself. You know
what are you doing? Gotta take care.
Like, bro, go away. I got this. But like. but I get it though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're selling Tom Holland to my demographic. Spider-Man movies are not for me, but I'm still a geek. I'm still gonna watch them, you know. But for the demographic that they're going for, I do think that Tom Holland works. But Tobey Maguire wasn't a big guy or anything, but I never felt like he looked like he was feeling shoes that he couldn't feel. Like I thought Tobey was the perfect Spider-Man, and I make that joke all the time. But every time I see Tom Holland, I said that's not my Spider-Man. everybody laughs, but I feel like we all have our Spider-Man depending on what era of Spidey you came up. But I feel like they keep remaking these movies because they know Spider-Man's always going to sell. Superman, Batman, you have classic superheroes that will always sell no matter what. I think that what they did was incredible. But I also think that they broke the mold and oversaturated the superhero market. I remember waiting on these movies to come out like it was such a big event. Now I feel like there's a Marvel movie in the theaters every week and I can't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah, it's
what I mean? And it started to get that way even towards Endgame. And I was trying to keep up with that, but I remember before Endgame, I'm like, okay, let me watch them in the order before Endgame, you know, just for the sake of it. I think a lot of people did that. And when I saw the list of movies I had to watch, thank God it was like pandemic era. I was like, okay, I got time. You know,
and they're making more.
It's a lot of movies, and like you get the point. I think that making Batman, Spider-Man, Superman is just a safe option for when things start falling apart, because the last like 3 or 4 Marvel movies have done terrible. The Marvels did bad. Like there's so many movies that have done bad that I can see them reviving something that we've seen already soon, because they're
I know why. I know why. I think I know why those things are happening. It's exactly what you just said. They make it so difficult for the average viewer to keep up. So like, of course you have those diehard superhero fans, the Marvel fans, who know everything. They've seen everything. They've read every comic book. They've been in every, they've done everything. They know everything that happens. They'll go to every single premiere for these movies when they come out. But then you have people like me, for example, who, yes, do I like those movies? Absolutely. Do I know everything about Superman and Batman and this and that and Spider-Man? No. But I know what the average viewer. So when you put on the Marvels, I don't know the in-depth stories of these characters. I'm very surface level with that stuff.
Right.
So for me, it's uninteresting.
I give them props with Infinity Wars and Endgame. I could sit down and show that movie to my parents and they would understand it without seeing any of the other movies. And I like that. I actually did that with my mom. We watched those and she loved them. And she's, trust me, far from from that. But now it doesn't feel that way. I also like standalone movies that are gonna make sense. And I hate that somebody will have to explain something to me. Like I'm one of the rare people that like Captain Marvel, the first one, not this one, but the first one. I liked it. I think there was a need for outside of Black Widow. I liked it. I know that people didn't like the choice of who they picked to play, Captain Marvel, but I love that movie. And but I watched it by song. I didn't know anything about her story, and I understood it. You know what I mean? And I haven't watched the Marvels, but based on what I'm hearing and the reviews that I'm seeing and all that, it just seems like it gets kind of like weird. Like it's not like the original one. So I don't blame him for not wanting to recreate that character. And I also feel like when these movies fall apart, the blame does get put on the actor instead of saying, hey, the studio is pumping out these movies too fast, or they're just caring about quantity over quality, and I think George Clooney probably also has thought about that. If I make the Batman and the Batman fails, it's gonna fall on me. I was a crappy Batman. Nobody wants to see me. Look at freaking, what was his name? God. I can't even remember him. Was it Jay Leto with that horrible Joker that nobody wants to talk about because he played a terrible Joker in Suicide Squad?
Yes, it was Jared Leto. Jared Leto.
That's right. When he played the Joker, I hate it. I still talk crap about it.
Did you hear about that not Joker movie, the Jared Leto movie that he did?
No, but he has a cult. Did you hear about his cult?
It's called Morpheus, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
So,
Morpheus. Yeah. He was the superhero from that other, was it a Spider-Man movie? I can't remember.
Yeah, so they put the movie out in the theater and it bombed, did horrible. Nobody showed up.
Watch the reviews for it. Watch the couple of reviews on YouTube. You would die laughing.
They took the movie out of the theaters and then at a later date re-premiered it. And the same thing happened. It flopped.
He was one of the villains on the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, Morpheus. And then they decided to give him their own movie. It's almost like Black Adam. Black Adam was always like a background character. And The Rock
Black
decided
Adam failed for other reasons because...
No, I agree. But what I mean is that at this point, they're just starting to give everybody that they managed to get a big name casted for it their own spin-off. And at some point, The Rock wanted to make Black Adam like the center of the... And he's like, no, you're not, bro. You're like, Black Adam was always a background character. He was never
and he's like, I'm going to do it myself.
God,
I listen. Fast and Furious. I'm going to do Hobbs and Shaw by myself.
I love him, but my God, I don't know what they were thinking with that one.
Well, now Dwayne is selling credit cards, so I don't know if you've seen that.
I saw that. I saw him holding a 3. Yeah, I think he was holding a 3 or something in the commercial.
Oh man, no, it's I don't know.
If you really think about it, that the projects that these celebrities took on during the strike, like to me, it's crazy. And I'm sorry, maybe it's just me. Let me know, people in the chat. But I'm like, don't you guys have enough money to take the year off that the strike was going on? Do you really have to? Maybe it's to keep their faces out there and stay relevant.
Well, look at John Cena. He didn't have to come back, you know.
Yeah, but John Cena also does like trash bag commercials, and you're like, why are you doing this? Like, do you need money, bro? Here you go. Like, what do you need? Set up a GoFundMe or something. It's
he's in a trash bag. He's in a trash bag commercial, and all of a sudden he's like, buy a Honda.
Yeah. My God, when he pulled up to NXT, and I guess, do you really think John Cena drives a Honda Civic?
I don't know. I get PTSD at this point because I hear him all over the place in different commercials, and I'm like, WWE. Like, that's not a WWE commercial. That's like a car. WWE. My brain's WWE all over the place.
Yeah, because his voice, you can just tell it. He does a lot of that voiceover work.
Yeah. But staying on topic of Marvel, let's talk about a big topic that's really all over the place right now.
This one is heavy, huh?
Yeah. Jonathan Majors dropped by Marvel. By the way, sorry for my lighting all of a sudden getting dark. I'm in the wilderness here in New Jersey. Where
I actually think it still looks good for the record.
Oh yeah? Okay. Yeah. It's dark as hell here and it's only 3:30. So
it's like really funny though. Your background is so pretty, it almost looks like a green screen. You're too good at decorating.
Thank you. So Jonathan Majors dropped by Marvel for this whole scandal that's going on. First off, good call or bad call? Well, first off, do you know what happened?
I kind of read a little bit of the article that I sent you, but I mean, I feel really weird about how today's is more like guilty until found innocent instead of innocent until proven guilty. But this is a bit like this guy was convicted. Like, I think this is a good call. There is no denying that what he's being accused of. I mean, he was found guilty by the law. You don't want to keep him around, you know?
Listen, it's happened a lot, and put it in, and I hate to go here, but like putting it in WWE terms, look back at the situation that happened with Enzo a few years ago. He was guilty until proven innocent, and he was fired while holding a championship, and he was proven innocent.
Right.
And he lost his reputation.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I'm very, very particular about, like, I don't want to say let me hear both sides of the story, but I'm very particular about like running in and making an opinion on something that's still ongoing. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I don't know, but this guy got found guilty of 2 charges, of harassment and abuse against his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, there's not much to say about it. I think they made the right call, because if anything else were to come out or happen, and this movie's out, what do they take the movie? They stop playing, like showing the movie. Like, I don't know what you do in that situation where now it's a problem. You know, he becomes more of a liability than an asset, and you can't have liabilities in business. Unfortunately, it's how it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was a little bit of a mess going on where he tried to say that she was the aggressor, and I I have seen a lot of cases though of the police being called in situations like this and both people being taken away. I mean I don't know that it happens all the time, but I do feel because there are a lot of toxic relationships out there where people like act this way. And I think that was like I was watching a documentary on Eminem and Kim.
More now than ever, to be honest.
Yeah, that is the most toxic relationship in America, Eminem and Kim Matters. And I was watching a documentary on YouTube about it, and there was one instant in which the police came and took them both because they were both beating each other up. That wasn't the case here. Like the case here is like him and his lawyers are trying to claim that she was the aggressor, but you got found guilty. And I mean, I would say it just makes me mad because other people are being let go. We talked about the Scream situation a couple of weeks ago where they let her go for supporting a cause on her social media, where you have people doing things like this. Like it's crazy to me. But you know, overall, I don't want to give him like the time of space, but I do think it was a good call by the studio. I mean, this is beyond an allegation. This is proven guilty.
Yeah. And even if, and we'll kind of end it here, but even if the girlfriend did have some partner or she was the aggressor, well, guess what? She's not the one in a freaking Marvel film. So he's out in public. He's in these big, you know, films and what he's the famous public figure. He's getting the wrath.
I love that you bring that up because I personally like I have a temper, you know, Puerto Rican, Latino woman. We kind of know for now, but I always have told people that one of the best things that I've done for myself, not only with my temper, like when I get mad, I'm talking about anxiety, panic attacks, or I always like, you gotta find your escape for when you feel like you're getting to that point. Figure out the one thing that you need to go and do to kind of like center yourself again before you do something stupid. Because I've only gotten like really mad a handful of times in my life, and I really just didn't like the way that I get, right? So I was like, I need to find, and unfortunately at first, like back in my 20s, it was like, I'm gonna go out and smoke a cigarette. And it might be terrible for me, right? But it was the one thing that would keep me from saying something stupid, doing something stupid. I always tell people, like, find what it is that centers you. If you need to go in a room, if you need to go in a dark room, if you need to put on some AirPods and listen to specific kind of music, if you need, if you need to take a shower, like there's so many things that you can do that put yourself out of that situation before it escalates to something ugly.
Agreed. Rethink.
Find the center. Find that things that brings you that. Again, kiss a dog. That one works 100% of the time.
Yes. Pet a dog, kiss a dog, look at a dog, anything with a dog.
If you're in a toxic situation, take off running until you find a dog, okay? Just tell whoever has the dog, please let me pet your dog.
But now I want to talk about, talk about this topic. You may need to pet your dog because we're at the main event of our show, and we're talking about the breakup of Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny.
It's promotion season, baby. I'm ready for my promotion, Benito. Call me.
Promotions. I love that you made that reference. I love that. I love that line on SmackDown, and he kept.
I've been saying it ever since Friday. Instead of celebration, I'm like promotion season, baby.
It's you know what? Like I give Roman Reigns so much credit. Not to go on a wrestling rant here. I give him so much credit because only wrestling fans would understand that reference. Like it is. We're going to the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season. It is promotion season, and to be in the ring with him is a promotion. So for him to just throw that out there, just like nonchalantly, like it's promotion season, baby. Like
I've been saying it ever since it stuck. I was like, oh, that's a good one. And I think it's like one of those low key good ones that you have to like be like, oh, that was really good. But yeah. I've been saying it ever since Friday.
You know what? This may overtake my favorite line of his that he's used. And so far in his career, my favorite line or segment that he's been a part of is the one where he's like, John Cena, it's the same thing every single night. It's like missionary every single night.
I put that on my channel. That's a great line.
This may be taking the cake on that one because I love that. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, am I frozen? Ricky's saying
I think you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think you're frozen.
Okay, before we talk about what we're doing, let me exit and come back in. I think I need to refresh.
No problem.
Give me 1 second.
At least you're frozen with a smile. I like it. Let me see if I could move somewhere until she comes back. Yeah, so I guess we could talk a little about wrestling here. Well, oh, she's back already. Damn, that was quick.
Am I better?
You are perfect.
Oh my God, I am watching the stream and I see you doing this.
I try to get in the frame and I'm like, oh, damn, she's back so fast.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
so-
I think I'm good now.
Honestly, Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny were my favorite couple of the whole year, and now
Because
they
they
break
weren't
up the last week of the year.
weren't a couple. They never admitted to dating. They never admitted to being together. They were having fun. I told you this a couple of shows. Like we talked about this relationship
I
for a
get
while.
it,
It was
but
never made official thing. And if you ever listen to Bad Bunny's music in his lyrics, he talks about her. He talks
I
about
can't
his girls, but
understand
he also talks about not wanting to settle down, not wanting to
Yeah.
get into anything serious. The new album has a song that says, I don't want to get married. That's literally the title.
Yeah.
So it's like Bad Bunny has always talked about, I mean, a lot of people speculated on what kind of relationship he had with his ex before Kendall,
Yeah.
because Bad Bunny is all over the place, kissing people, kissing everybody. So I never saw them I saw them as my favorite term in the whole wide world, adult friends.
Well, I'll rephrase.
Enjoying each other company.
I'll rephrase what I said. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny are my favorite situationship of 2020.
Thank you. Thank you. Your favorite adult friends.
Yeah. That that had a lot of fun together.
You know what's going on, Joey, is that it's promotion season, it's celebration season, and Bad Bunny's missing that arroz, that pernil. He's missing that Puerto Rican good food. You know, this is that time of the year where we go all out for the food. So he just wanted to come home and eat some Puerto Rican. That's all.
Well, Joseph says in the chat, it was nothing more than a publicity stunt so Kendall could have a man for the season. But
I don't think it was. I think it might have started that way, though. I think it might have started that way. I think it might have started that way.
Yeah.
And I think they ended up really becoming good friends. I'm not sure that she will want to settle down either. I don't understand why people have this necessity of labeling things. Like, why can't two adults just hang out, do what they do, enjoy each other companies without it having to be their boyfriend, girlfriend? They're married, they're engaged. No, they're just hanging
well, I have
out.
a
Like, we're all
theory.
adults. Yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory about why they are not having fun together anymore.
Yeah.
It's Kim Kardashian's fault. Kim is single. Khloe is single. I don't know about the rest of them.
I think no, Kylie's not single, and
Kylie's dating
definitely. Yeah, I think you think they were about it. I don't know, because I feel like Kendall doesn't talk to them. Kendall has always been such an outsider in that family. Yeah, I don't think that Kendall will listen to them if they try to like get in her ear about don't get a boyfriend right now or this and that. Even if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the only one that Kendall appears to be close with is Kylie, and we barely ever see them together anymore.
Well,
I always feel like Kendall does her own thing.
My conspiracy is that Kim was like, you can only come to Christmas dinner if you're single because this is a single house. Khloe's coming for Christmas. She's single. You want to come for Christmas? You got to be single.
You know, I just feel like, I don't know that they would have spent Christmas together. Now that I think about it. I know that he's, well, I don't know if he's doing it, but every year, the 23rd, his charity does this big thing in the convention center here in Puerto Rico, and they give out toys, and he always shows up surprise. We all kind of know he's going to be there, but he shows up, but they give away toys to the kids. So I personally think he's going to be here for the holidays.
Yeah.
However, these are the kind of people that have the kind of money to go celebrate with the Kardashians and then jump on a private flight and get to Puerto Rico. Or opposite, you can jump on your private flight and go to LA, see her, and come back. You know, like, I guess I don't think the way that they would think, because I don't think that will stop them from seeing each other. But I'm pretty sure that, like I said, he's always here on that Christmas, the 23rd and 24th when they do that drive. He's here for the kids, man.
But here's another conspiracy. You know, you mentioned that it was never confirmed that they were together. They were official, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has it been confirmed that they're not having fun?
I mean, People Magazine is the one that reported it. I actually do find People Magazine reliable.
Like maybe they just went their separate ways for the holidays, and you're going to see them together on New Year's and into the new year.
They haven't been seen together for a while. Like I think they did a Halloween party together, and I know she was at his SNL hosting after party. Yeah. And after that, it's been very sporadic. And it's more about Bunny was in LA, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he was with her. Because he's relocated to LA for a while before he even started, the situationship with her. He was like in LA. So I'm not sure, but I would assume that Kris Jenner will make sure that this is in the news. So even if they're not confirming it, that a PR release or she will spill the news to the right person so it spreads, because people reported it and it was all over my timeline, like within 10 minutes of the report coming out.
Well, Ricky in the chat mentioned Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, to me, I might get hate for this, but that's a publicity stunt. They started dating, and now he's on every commercial. He's on every TikTok. Come on. That was a freebie.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that relationship. It's weird. It's so... I will tell you one thing. Like Bad Bunny and Kendall were very private. Outside of that Gucci campaign, it was just pictures that people will take when. Sometimes they would even enter parties separate. Like it was, you barely saw them together. Where at least if it was a publicity stunt, they were a little bit better about being private about it. Like this, a lot of these people like beg for privacy and they don't want this, but then they do these things so publicly. Like this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is so freaking public. Yeah. She doesn't have to go to the games. Like go to his mansion and watch him on his big screen and wait for him there. Like, why are you at the games distracting? Like, there's just something about how public they are that irks me a little bit. And maybe it's because I'm a super private person too. Like when it comes to my private life, I am very guarded. Like nobody knows what I'm up to, and I love it that way. I don't understand why celebrities wouldn't be that way.
I got into like not an argument, but like we got into like a little tussle, I would say, with a friend. We were talking about this whole thing, and I was like, it is a publicity stunt because like before this, Taylor Swift was never at an NFL game. She was never like, Taylor Swift is a huge football fan. When was she ever at a game before this? Have you ever seen her? How do you know she was a fan of football?
She wasn't. Come
on. She wasn't. Now she's there like a soccer mom, like taking pictures with like in the box with like his family.
At least she got to meet Baron Corbin. She got to meet Baron Corbin. That's a big deal for her.
Listen, Baron Corbin had a huge week.
I saw it and I was like, lucky Taylor Swift. She got to hang out with our dude, Baron Corbin. That's
let me tell you, that's my guy. He's one. I love
Corbin.
Shout out to Baron Corbin. That guy he deserves.
You see his puppy passed away recently?
I saw that.
Broke my heart. That dog. I remember when he used to do the streams with Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger when they had I think they still have it was called The Sweets. That dog was always in the background and people in the chat would like make so much fun of him because he's like, oh, it's my puppy. And everybody was like, it's a horse. Like that dog was huge.
I'm in the process. I'll throw the chat a little freebie here. I'm in the process of making a fun YouTube video on my channel, not to promote myself or anything, but talking about Baron Corbin and an idea that I have for if he was to come back to the main roster. I'll just throw it out there. I think that Baron Corbin would be an excellent addition to the Judgment Day.
I wouldn't hate it.
Like if Damien, if Priest,
now they got our truth, so I don't know.
If Priest leaves and like he's out of the group, have that Baron Corbin on a motorcycle.
Why would Priest leave? Kick out Finn Balor.
Well, listen, Priest.
But I'm with you. You can't have the two big guys like they will cut.
So. Well, Priest is the most valuable because he's got that contract. So because he's the most valuable, he's the most delicate one. So they got to be careful.
Agreed.
So he sways the success right now of the group. Plus, he's stepping up as the leader. So I mean, if anybody was to go, he better not lose that contract.
We'll see.
But how cool would it be seeing Baron Corbin like come out with like the Judgment Day, his motorcycle, and all the cool stuff that he does?
Yeah, I love his entrance at Deadline. He looks so badass. But yeah, he got to hang out with Taylor Swift though.
Not to go on a wrestling rant, but
Yeah, no, wrestling rants are great. No, but no,
yeah.
I agree. I think Baron Corbin could be if Priest is not there. I like it. I actually like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Taylor Swift is so they're so public compared to what Kendall and Bad Bunny did. And if you start searching them outside of public events that they were invited to, the pictures are very like they never even like posted pictures together outside of that Gucci campaign, like so whatever, we'll see what it is. But you got a good point. Now you got me thinking, if they never confirmed they were together, how do we know they're broken up?
Yeah,
If it
maybe it's just the
wasn't ever
holidays.
a thing, if it
He's
wasn't
going
ever
to
a
Puerto
thing,
Rico. She's,
a thing doesn't necessarily end. You just like you just resume it when you have time to see each other.
exactly.
He's about to be very busy. His tour is about to kick off. I'm assuming in January he starts training. He starts in February, and he's gonna be going nonstop until like.
And if he
December.
does something with WWE,
we'll see.
Yeah. But that's all the topics for today. What I wanted to end the show today talking about is because normally we talk about movies and stuff that we watched this week, but since we're in the holiday season. Issa, I want to ask you, and I want to ask the chat too, because to me, this is I could talk for hours about this. We won't, but I can. Do you have any holiday or Christmas songs that are like your number one, or like the when you think of Christmas music, what's the number one song? And also movies, like what are your top 3 if you have Christmas movies? Sorry to throw all that out.
Gremlins, The Exorcist. If I had to pick an actual Christmas movie, Elf.
Yeah.
Elf is king, but I'm not a very Christmassy person. I do love Christmas music, but the Spanish, like what we listen to here in Puerto Rico. My mom always like couldn't wait till November to start playing that. And I remember how annoyed I used to get when I was young. And then when I left Puerto Rico and got older, I missed my mom blaring that freaking music through the speakers. Our traditions are very different. Like we do what they call like a parranda, which is like, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but we get a group of people, they gotta be able to play instruments, and we go to your house in the middle of the night, and then we start singing outside. You gotta let us sing, feed us, give us alcohol, and then we take the people from that house and we hit the next house. By the end of the
I'll
night,
be a part of that.
By the end of the night, when you get to the last
and get free food and alcohol?
No, it's the most fun. By the end of the night, when you get to the last house that you're hitting, it went from like a group of 10 to like a group of 30, because people, as you stop by houses, people just keep joining you. And there's a line of cars, and you got to figure out how to be sneaky so nobody hears you. But like our Christmas traditions are very different, but they are so much fun. That's why I always had a hard time with Christmas in the States, because I feel it's celebrated. And I don't like your culture is yours, mine is mine, but it's celebrated so different than how we did it that I was like, I felt very out of place. But so I do like the Puerto Rican Christmas music because we sing it in the middle of the night and get people walking off, and oh my God, it's so much fun. Like you always gotta have alcohol, you gotta have groceries, because you don't know when somebody can hit you up with that.
See, to me, that's fun. That's like a fun. I'm like the most, and you know this. I'm part of the whitest family in America.
I know.
We do like matching pajamas. We have a baking day before Christmas where we bake all the cookies and stuff for Christmas, and we watch the movies and drink hot chocolate. It's like out of a movie.
And our big day is actually Christmas Eve. Christmas, we're all hungover.
Yeah, like that's a question I've always wondered, because so many different cultures do it. They don't do anything like Christmas Eve, and then they do a big thing Christmas Day. Some cultures usually do Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day they hang out. Being from Florida, everyone did Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve is our
like the Spanish cultures all did Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve was the big party. When I was little, Christmas Day will be the day where your parents gonna take care of your grandparents, and you're kind of like collecting gifts. And our big gift day is actually Three Kings Day. It's not Christmas. Like my main gift will come on Three Kings Day. Christmas, yes, I will get something, but the Three Kings Day was like, for example, like you guys do the cookies and milk for Santa. As ridiculous as this sounds, we will pick up grass for the camels because the Three Kings were coming, and we were living. I remember the one time that my dad told me that the Three Kings drank beer. So I made my mom buy beer, and he was being a smartass because, of course, he was the Three Kings. But I told my mom, I was like, Mom, my dad said that we gotta leave beers for the kings, and my dad is like, my mom looked at me like this jerk. And you know what's actually funny? My mom used to write the letters from the Three Kings, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
And that's how I figured out they were real, because I remember at one age I was like, why do they write just like my mom has beautiful handwriting, like gorgeous. Like I actually want my mom tattoo to be written by her because her handwriting is beautiful. So of course it's very particular. And my dad is like the opposite of beautiful, so he wouldn't do it because it's unreadable. But like I remember one year going like, the Three Kings can't write like my mom. Nobody writes like my mom, and that's how I found out. But Three Kings Day is big for us. Christmas Eve is big for us. And Christmas, we kind of like, we're like homebodies on Christmas. We pick up gifts, or people will come visit you, but you're kind of like playing with your toys, or just relaxing because we stay up until like 3-4 a.m. on Christmas Eve. So Christmas is just a lazy day for us.
Well, Christmas Day for us is kind of like New Year's Day, where it's like you wake up whatever time, you hang out in your pajamas all day, you watch movies, you do nothing, and then you decide what you want to do for dinner later.
Right.
Kind of like an off day.
Right. Well, see, with us, you probably have leftovers from Christmas.
Exactly.
So you're gonna be eating leftovers like Thanksgiving. Pick something from the fridge. I'm not getting off. I put the party together last year. Yeah. I guess that's one of the culture shocks that I experienced. Like a lot of times, people ask me what were my biggest culture shocks, and it was like, you don't realize how different we all are in our specific cultures and where we come from.
Yeah.
Until you're hit with how we celebrate holidays. Now in Puerto Rico, we celebrate the holidays same dates as the States. So at least there's that. But it's very different. It's very different the way that we do things. And I always go through that. Like a lot of times I'll be talking to my friends like you or Wrestling Inc. or whatever, and they'll bring up some references that go right over my head. And I'm like, do you forget that I grew up here? I didn't leave Puerto Rico until I was 19. So my growing up shows, music, everything that I listened to was completely different than what you went through, So it's just like, sometimes I'll be talking about a show and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, like the peanut butter and jelly, because I never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before. And I was like, we don't eat that here, okay? Like, we don't do that.
I grew up with that.
Right. But that's the thing. And I think like a culture shock for me was the way that people in the United States celebrate Christmas. And I was born and raised Catholic, so there was no Santa Claus. We were celebrating the birth of Jesus. Damn it, don't you mention Santa Claus around here. Baby Jesus is coming, Joey.
Baby Jesus is on his way. Yeah. I have I have a list of favorite Christmas movies, but I'll name my top 3.
Yeah.
Number 3, I don't know if you've ever seen it. And a lot of people surprisingly have never heard of it. It's a holiday classic with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. It's called Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, it's a good movie. I've seen it.
I love that movie. That's like my family. That's our go-to movie for Christmas. Our family.
That's cute. That's cute.
Number 2 is Elf, because Elf is classic. By the way, this year we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of that movie. Crazy to me. That's bonkers.
Did you ever know that it was supposed to have a sequel?
I always hoped for a sequel.
Oh my God. Well, glad they didn't do it because the script was terrible. I'm going to send you the link. If Shut Up, we were recommended this week. It was like the Elf sequel that fell apart. I didn't like the storyline that they have picked out for it.
Well, I've seen like in the recent years of Will Ferrell saying he would never go back and do another Elf. Like
he didn't want to do the sequel. That's one of the reasons why it fell apart.
But it's such a classic, so I really don't think you can go back and do another one.
Every once in a while, you have to leave something alone. I don't think a sequel will work.
My number 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Okay, I respect your choices.
That one is a classic. Like, what happened to Grace? Grace died 30 years ago. Like, everything from that movie is iconic.
You want to hear something funny? The 34th Street movie with the lamp. What's that movie called?
Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah, whatever. That's the one with the boy wants a toy, right?
I don't know.
Anyways.
That's an older movie, right?
Yeah. Where the boy, everybody watches.
Yeah,
anyways. So I didn't watch that until like a few years ago because I told my ex-fiance at the time, so I've never even seen that movie. He's like, you what? That's how different my traditions are, where I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So he made me sit down and watch it because they play it on a channel like 24 hours straight. I was like, why are we doing this?
Oh, you're talking about Christmas Story.
Yeah, that one.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid, with the gun.
Yeah, that one.
Christmas
I just
Story.
watched that like less than 10 years ago for the first time.
Another good one, underrated. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way. That's my number 4. You've never seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I need to. I'll write it down.
So it's from the 90s. It's about a guy has a family. His little kid wants this. It's called a Turbo Man doll. He wants his action figure. It's the number 1 toy of the season. And he goes on this hunt to find the toy, and he can't find it anywhere. And he's like searching the city for the toy. And he goes to a whole thing to find the toy to make his kid happy because he's like not a good dad or something. I don't know. It's today you would just go on Amazon and buy the toy and have it shipped and delivered before Christmas. But it's a classic with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Probably one of my favorite movies of his.
You know what? Here in Puerto Rico, Amazon, like the Prime has gotten a lot better from. I think we discussed this back on the beginning when we started doing this, that it would take like weeks, but they gotten better and it's coming like within days. But it's still not guaranteed. So the one thing that I would say is, and this is not during just the holiday season, it's just all year long. In general, a lot of people in Puerto Rico do regular shopping just to be guaranteed. So I do, while it's a pain in the ass for parking, I do love going to the malls and like they go all out with the decorations. You have the Santas, but they're packed. Like when we grew up and the mall was the place to be, that's how the malls are here all the time. Like I remember seeing an argument on Twitter the other day where people were like, nobody goes to the mall anymore. And I'm like, speak for yourself. The mall, I think Puerto Rico alone,
on Black Friday.
Yeah, Puerto Rico alone keeps retail going because we go in person, because like you can't trust it. Like I order on Amazon. I remember I used to order everything. Now Amazon is if I don't need it anymore. For example, I just upgraded my phone, but it's been shipped. So I was like, okay, well, I ordered the case and the screen protector on Amazon because they're both going to take us to come.
And I got it before the phone.
Yeah, but if it's something that I need, I was telling you about the light because I went and bought it in person because it's like there's some things. Anyways, the whole point that I wanted to make is that the mall industry here is huge still. They get packed on the weekends and they go all out with the decorations, with the Santa. We had the biggest mall in the entire Caribbean area, and I went recently. When I went shopping for Survivor Series clothes, because they have the Express, they have the more American stores with that fashion. I saw Santa. The mall was like all decorated. I was like, I love this, because that did bring me back to when I grew up. And in the States, that kind of died down a little bit with people not going to the mall anymore. So I will say the shopping aspect of it, like going shopping for other people, like breaking your brain about what you're gonna get them and this and that. It was so funny. I went the other day and like walked around. Thank God they don't watch this. But after walking for like 2 hours, I was like, I'm gonna get them gift cards. I was trying to get a little something for my glam squad, my lash girl, my nails girl, because they deserve it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm walking around, I just couldn't think of anything, and I'm like, gift cards. I got tired of walking around.
I get it.
But yeah, the shopping is one of my favorite parts of Christmas. The in-person shopping.
I'm the type of person that I love. I won't ask you what you want unless it's like a thing that like I know that you want.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I will get you the most thoughtful gift. Like I will come up with something that you will like fall apart opening. Like you'll be like, oh my God, this is the most thoughtful gift I ever got. That's
sweet.
I'm thoughtful with my gifts. So like,
no pressure for our birthday gifts for our birthday party that nobody's attending.
Yeah. If we don't find a place to stay.
Don't get me started. I don't want to talk about the rope booking. Okay, we're working on it.
We'll have it at an Applebee's.
Find a place to stay. We'll have it at an Applebee's. Shut up.
We'll get free
drinks.
If
we do it at Applebee's, people would show up because they probably know that I would do that kind of crap.
Yeah, that honestly, it's on brand for us.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
But if we do an Airbnb, I think we should do what we discussed on my chat yesterday, where you make something Italian, make something Puerto Rican, we do a layout.
Hey, I'll cook you Italian, huh?
Okay, Tony D.
I'm the family.
Yeah, but I like the thoughtfulness of a gift. Like I do the what do you want at this point just for my baby niece, because parents know better. And even that, when I saw her wish list that her mom made, or my nephew's wife made a list, and I saw that because I don't know if I told you this, but she's 3 now, and she's obsessed with calling me, but to talk to Roman. She's like, Titi, hi. She's like, where's Roman? Immediately, right? So I saw in the wish list that she had like this pet kid that came with the outfit, the dog, and all that. And I was like, okay, that has to be the gift from me because she calls me to
the
talk to
dog.
my dog. So even in that case where I didn't just pick the first thing in the list, I like went thoroughly through the list to see what made the most sense to be from me. But yeah, I can't wait. They'll probably send me a video of her opening it, and that it's about the kids too. People forget, really is about the kids. And we haven't had a kid in the family in a while because my nephews are all grown, so we're all excited to see Amari open her gifts.
That's how we are. It's a very weird time because, like, my youngest cousin is almost 10, so it's like there's no
there's no little kids.
There's no little kids anymore. Everyone's grown. Like I have cousins that are in their late 40s now. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be 31, and it's like, damn, like time flew.
Yeah,
and, like,
because with us,
now.
you do the thoughtful gift. We open it, and
everybody wants like flippers and skincare.
Right, and you. Oh my God. I saw a TikTok this morning and it was like this t-shirt. I'm going to send it to you. This t-shirt asked his students what to buy people in their 30s. And the responses were hilarious. Like one said like a heated blanket because their muscles hurt. Another one said wrinkle creams. The other one said a Panera gift card because they love soup.
Everything.
And I was like, why is this so accurate? Like,
did you hear about that lemonade from Panera Bread?
Yeah, it's killing people.
It's killing people in these streets. The charged lemonade. It's got too much caffeine.
It's not going to come close to the Chick-fil-A lemonade slaps.
It's killing people.
You know, it has because they weren't telling people how much caffeine was in it. They thought they were drinking. Listen, lemonade is thirst quenching.
And kids.
Lemonade is thirst quenching, so you'll be ordering a large and refilling it because you don't think there's any caffeine in it.
Lemonade is killing people in 2023.
You have to disclose to people that it's like an energy drink lemonade. It's not your normal lemonade. Joey, the other day, speaking of lemonade, the other day, listen, charge these nuts. Anyways, yes, I'm a grown-up. The other day, so I don't know if I told you this, but Chick-fil-A is still fairly new in Puerto Rico. Like, I think we only have 4 open. And I'm lucky enough that 2 of them are in my city. I told you, I hate it, but it's convenient. We have everything. But it's still like crazy lines, you know, because it's new.
Yeah.
I did the drive-through line the other day just for lemonade. Even the worker looked at me like, "What are you doing?"
You should have gotten free chicken nuggets just for being there.
I'm being careful because of everything in my stomach, so I'm trying to stick with it. But I really was craving a lemonade from there, and the inside was just as bad. So I'm like, might as well stick in the car. I have Roman, listen to music. But I swear to you, I pulled up and I'm like, medium lemonade. And he looked at me like, these guys are overworked. It's been that packed for months. And he looked at me like,
that's what you want?
That's it. And I'm like, yeah. He looked at me like, you just waited on that line for a lemonade. And I'm like, is that good? Their lemonade is really freaking good, okay?
You got to see if you can buy it in the supermarket.
I never seen it. Unless they, probably in the States, but here probably.
Because they sell their sauces. I've seen their sauces like in Walmart and stuff like that. You can buy the secret sauce that they use.
It never tastes the same, and they had their ice is crunched differently. Like it's not like the
little balls.
Crunchy. Oh my God! And I'm the friend that eats the ice from the glass.
Me too.
So the ice has to be a certain way, and I'll sit there like
I'm specific with my ice.
I am too. And if another place here that has really good ice is Arby's. Like I'll pull in there just to ask for a small Coke.
Those fries.
Listen, I have a stomach condition, so I pull up for the drinks.
Yeah.
But Arby's, I just ask for a small Coke just to eat the ice afterwards. Like I just want the cup with ice, but I'm not gonna go through the drive-through to ask for that, you know. But yeah, I'm that friend that after she drinks her drink, you hear the it drives my dad crazy. It's the anemia though. Like I had to rub that on my dad's face after I grew up when it's like it's actually a condition when somebody's like I crave it to the point that I bought but it's not the same. I bought the ice trays that makes it crunchy. It's not the same. FYI, it's not the same. These people have crack in their eyes and charged lemonades apparently.
Charged lemonade. Oh man, Isa, I think that does it for our show today.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to wish everybody that supported us. We'll do the New Year's Eve speech next week, but the holidays, I celebrate them. If you are just if you're by yourself, call your loved ones because I've been there. I celebrate the holidays by myself. But if not, just don't forget what it's about. Yes, the opening gifts is fun and all that, but it's just about having your loved ones and spending time with them and all that. So I just want to wish everybody in the chat Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, then forget about what I just said.
Yeah, like even if you don't celebrate, the holidays, I think it's important to not only like during the holidays, but throughout your whole year, like to really to be present as much as you possibly can, whether that's getting off your phone a little more or just connecting with the people around you, friends, family, whatever. Even like your Amazon driver or your nail tech or like your hair person, like everyone has feelings. Everyone is a human. So like it you never know what people are going through, but you never
Life
know
is too
also.
short. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So be present is such beautiful advice, Joey. Be present in those moments.
I've really learned that specifically this year. It's been like a tough year in that sense, and to be more present and to some people think it's being a little morbid. I guess it's how you say it, but to live every moment as if like this was your last day. So many people go with this mentality that, oh, I'll do that next week. Or I'll do that next month or next year. Like, I don't know when I can do that. I have no time for that. Saying you have no time is like the worst thing you could put out into the universe. But to tell yourself, like,
yeah, I saw my mom at this time last year, like barely being able to move. And we went through all the treatments and the chemo, and just to see the improvement just gave me a whole new life on those moments with my mom. I don't take them for granted. And it's like really weird because my mom was the athlete and she never drank, never smoked, like one of the healthiest people that I know. So I never sat down and processed the thought of something happening to my mom because she's healthy. Look at her. She's a badass, So
Mama Diva.
Yeah, that year that I went through with her and being there for her meant the world to me. But seeing everything and now seeing her recover, I will tell you, I come to a point where I just drop things to be with her if I have a chance to do something with her, especially because now she's getting back into the mood of wanting to go out and wanting to do things where she couldn't throughout her treatments and all that. So now she's like, I kind of feel like going out. I'm like, whatever, let's do it. Because I never processed that, and I feel like I was giving a chance to not only process that, but I'm giving a second chance of spending extra time with her. So you gotta think of all those things. You gotta think of all those things and be present and enjoy those moments. And that's what it's all about. It's all about spending time with the family, man.
Yeah, I people tell me all the time, like, Joe, you spend too much time with your family. Like, what do you're always like, I'm like, you've maybe never faced a situation where like you learn that you want it. First off, as you get older, you value and we've talked about this on the show before, you value your time more, and by valuing your time more, you give it to those who you care and love.
Correct. I was going to say, it's not even about valuing your time. Also, it's about your circle gets so much smaller. Then you really appreciate the few people you have in that circle. I spent 20 years outside of Puerto Rico, not close to my parents. So now I try to make up for all that time that I didn't have. And now that I live here, I'm not close to my nephews. So when I tell you, hey, I'm out visiting my nephews, I'm not going to stream. I'm not going to do any of that. I could. And they will be like, yeah, we're okay with that. But I want to spend time with them. I don't see them every day.
Of course.
It's just important. And I love you, Joey. And I wish you a happy holiday. I'm so excited to see you at the Rumble.
I cannot wait either. I love you. I appreciate you more than anything.
In the Rumble, I'm going to convince you to take that trip to Puerto Rico, though.
I might have to. No, I think it's important too. Like Issa deserves so many like her flowers. Like you're out here doing this thing, and now that I've been in this industry for a little while, I see the people I see them for who they are. You know what I mean? I have no problem, and you're the same way. I have no problem saying I don't like that person just because I can see the fakeness in their persona. You know what I mean?
I have no problem with that too. You know that.
You are one of those people who just like, you show up, you work, you have fun, but you're yourself. And at the end of the day, I don't see Dave LaGreca going up to everybody and saying, hey, Issa, I love what you do.
I still can't. I still can't. He's done that to me like 3 times, and I still get shook every time it happens.
I saw it. I was with you. People come up to you that we only wish to be like, to aspire to be like one day. and they know you, they know your stuff. Like you're doing it well. And the biggest thing about it is that you are authentically yourself. And that is the biggest thing. I could easily change myself to fit into this industry and to get opportunities. You get that stuff by being yourself. I think that's so cool and so like inspiring to not only other people in the industry, but to women in the industry, because we're seeing so much more of them. And I'm not trying to kiss your ass here, but it's the truth. And I think
I appreciate those words.
your flowers.
I get a lot of like BS because of like my watch alongs, or I joke a lot. And I've always say, hey, what I do in my watch alongs, I want to be a distraction for people. We're watching wrestling and having fun without going on social media, because social media can kill it. And a lot of times I get a lot of BS because if you watch my watch alongs, you watch my interviews or what I do in Wrestling Inc., it's all completely different because it's a different thing that I'm doing. But like a lot of people tell me I don't take it seriously, and I'm like, I dedicate my life to wrestling right now. Don't tell me I don't take it seriously. The fact that I like to have fun, the fact that I like to have fun when I watch my wrestling, that's a whole different atmosphere. So those words from you and other people that have approached me, like they really mean a lot, because I do get a lot of negativity because of the way that I act or the way that I am, or other things that I do with my other side gigs, and I'm like, that doesn't take away the dedication that I put into it. And I feel the same way about you. I told you this. You are goals when it comes to how you handle your social media and your graphics and your videos. Your TikToks are incredible. So I kind of knew we would click just from the first show that we ever did together. But I actually really look forward to. It's really funny because you create a tiny little family within the wrestling media, and like I feel like it's a little reunion. All these big shows that we all get to see each other and hang out, because it's like a different part of your job, and you are there for work, but you also like, oh my god, I'm gonna get to see Joey, and we're gonna hang out and all that. So
that's why I was so upset about Survivor Series. I was like, I don't get to see like Issa and like my people.
I didn't help it by texting you at 3 a.m. with pictures telling you should have been here.
I'm like laying in bed, and
at least you know that I was sitting there having drinks with a bunch of cool people, and I was thinking of you, Joey.
Yes,
come on,
that is the best. That's the best gift of all this holiday season.
I probably woke up and saw that half dead going, this bitch.
But anyway, I think that this upcoming year, I'm so positive about it. I'm so like. I have so much like faith, and I believe so much in the things that we're going to do, but just in general, I think it's going to be a good year. This year wasn't a good year for a lot of people, myself included. So I think that this holiday season, like what we kind of talked about for the last 20 minutes, be present, tell the people you love that you love them. You don't know when the last opportunity will be to do that, and just really soak it in, because like you said, like comparing it to last year, seeing the change in your mom, like this is what this season is all about, is being with the people you love and having those memories. Like, oh, this year we're going to do this because last year we did this, and the year before we did. There's so many things to build off of this season because you get to be with the family.
Yeah.
Just embrace it and enjoy it. And I hate the people that are just like, oh, that's cheesy, or like that's weird. Do it all, take the pictures, do everything, because you never know when you're going to regret it.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
I have no better words to close the show. Next week, recap of the craziest news of 2023. If something crazy happens this week, we'll cover it, obviously. But next week, we're going to focus on the craziest news from the last year. It's going to be our recap, and because it's our last show of the year. But for now, I hope everybody has a fantastic holiday. And we love you guys. Thank you for always showing up in the chat and supporting us. Absolutely. Thank you guys for another great episode. Issa, can't do it without you. You're the best person to do this with. And damn you with those hearts, because I can't. Because I'm Snow White, don't forget. You're Snow White. I didn't hear the birds today. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Happy holidays. Somebody said there's a hidden camera behind you, and I saw it too, and I was